Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Amazing Tennis Podcast. Today, we have a special guest. It's me. I'm your guest. I'm your host, and I'm your guest. That was really funny. Anyways, this is going to be a little bit awkward for me because I'm just talking to myself looking in this camera. But I want to try it out. I posted last night on my Instagram story and had you guys ask me some questions so I can do one solo episode because I feel like I have a lot of good guests and a lot of good conversations, but there's so many things sometimes that I just like want to add, and you guys have a lot of questions for me as well. So I'm like, okay, let me do one by myself. So I'm gonna answer some questions, not all of them, like the ones, can I date you? I'm not going to answer those because no, I'm not available for dating right now. But just like some, good questions. And then I want to talk about my last year and kind of just where I'm at in my journey and kind of give you an update. So, let's start with the questions first. What is your goal in your pro tour journey? Year of play or ranking? Okay, great question. So my goal, it's tough. It's a little complicated. So I started playing again in April 2024. That was my first pro tournament back. And then as I started playing, it was a lot of things have happened until then. And I'm going to open up a little bit more today than I ever did. So, okay, rewind. In 2023, April, I decided I'm going to play again professionally. My last pro tournament was December 2016. And since then, I haven't played any tournaments. So in April 2023, which is like 7 years later, I decided to play again. I was married at the time, two kids, all great. And then I'm like, okay, now let's get back to tennis. And I really, really wanted to play again. I just missed it so much. There was this void inside of me that I tried to fill all these years and I couldn't. And I I didn't want to accept to myself that means playing again, because to start playing tennis again from zero at this age, it's really, really tough, because it's not like, oh, let me go and play. There's so many things that go into it, financially, mentally, physically. I have two little kids. There's so much going on. And at the time, I was married and I thought, I'll just try a little bit. I never thought that whatever happened is going to happen. And it did. It did happen. I have a lot of you that have asked me that don't even know that I went through a divorce, and I don't talk about it much, but I think it's important. I When I decided I'm gonna play, now my ex-husband, so my husband at the time, we were going back and forth, and long story short, we decided that we're not gonna be together. He didn't like the idea that I'm gonna play pro again. It takes a lot of sacrifice, as a significant other to support the pro journey of a tennis player. So since then, I've been through a lot in that year. So, like from April 2023 through April 2024, I had to go through a divorce, which going through a divorce with two kids is miserable in a country where you don't have family, where you don't have anybody. For me, it was like, oh my God, this is insane. And I was doing it all alone. Thankfully, I had friends that supported, but my family is back in Bosnia, so it was a tough period. But at the same time, I was practicing. I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm gonna do this. I started playing some smaller tournaments, trying to get back into it. But like, I was oh my God, at the point of like burning out. Like I wasn't taking care of myself properly. I was overdoing it with everything, and it was taking a toll on me mentally. Um, it was like to the point where I wasn't really doing good mentally. So then, and then financially it was tough too. You're trying to play, then you have to work. I mean, there's so many things. And then in like September, October, I got this deal with this. I'm not gonna say any names, but I got a sponsorship where they said we're gonna pay you all the money a month that you need for all of your expenses, and then after that, but you have to work with a certain coach, which that is not being talked enough in the tennis industry. I think like today's video is sponsored by Lucky in Love. Gone are the days of ladies golf and tennis apparel that all look the same. Lucky in Love is ushering in a new age. The high-end women's apparel brings options fit for the modern, expressive woman. Partake in the ultimate luxury and shop Lucky in Love for your new favorite fashion items for women, and use code EB20 to get 20% of your next purchase. Okay, you get the money, yeah, you get the sponsors, but you're forced to work with somebody that you don't want to work with. So at the time, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting this financial freedom, which is so important, right? Like to be a tennis player, to start from zero, you're not making money, right? You're basically like you're not making money at the beginning. Unless you're top 100 in the world, you're not making money. So I need to find ways to make money, right? So I was finding sponsors, investors, I'm teaching lessons, I'm doing my social media, everything that I can make money. So then getting that, it was like a blessing from the sky. I'm like, oh my God, yes. So I stopped with work, stopped with everything, and I was getting paid to play. I'm like, this is a dream come true. And then from like October till April, so October 2024 to April 2023. Oh my God, I can't. Being 2025, it's a struggle. Those like 5, 6 months, I wasn't allowed to, do anything that I wanted to do, which was super tough. Like when somebody is controlling your life, yeah, financially they're helping you, but like you cannot, I mean, do basic things, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I wasn't allowed to play tournaments either, or trying to change my technique. It was just too much where it became to a point it was really, really bad. And I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? It was really, really tough. Um, and I had to make that decision in April, and I stopped that sponsorship. But, it was kind of like starting from zero again. It's been now a year that I decided I'm going to play, but I had to go through divorce, I had to go through the sponsorship stuff. And now, okay, let's play. So I started playing, and this whole year I've been playing, but I haven't been fully into it. Like, yes, I have, meaning like work wise, because I'm really a hard worker. I do so much, but like, I wasn't good in my head from everything that has happened. I was putting pressure on myself that I need to win, that I need to perform, also that I need to prove myself. But then, like, I'm like, who am I trying to prove anything? At the end of the day, I want to prove it to myself, right? But the thing is, like, I've grown so much in this past year, since April. I mean, now it's January 2025. Grown so much, been through so much that I feel like I'm finally in a good place. Thank God. Like, I'm so grateful, because it's been a really tough year. And you really, like, I suffered a lot. I mean, all these life changes, right? With I didn't even realize, what was happening in my life. with the, divorce and everything, and then the kids and me playing all these changes. It's like I was just kind of like going through it. But then, like, when it hits you and you finally feel it, you're like, oh my God. Um, so I think I had to go through all of that, and I'm finally ready, like, just to play tennis now. Then I'm not even talking about the guilt that I felt throughout this year about, I'm a mom. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and it's like a guilt of, I'm leaving my kids to go play. You know, I'm not making enough money. Why am I doing this? Asking yourself all these questions and questioning, like, why? When ultimately I know why I'm doing this. I love tennis at the end of the day, and I am still young enough where I can give myself a shot, and I want to end it on my own terms. I want to reach my full potential. I want to see what I'm capable of. But I feel like I finally started working the right way. I have a good coach, fitness coach, like doing the things right. And now also setting my mind right too, right? It's just been a roller coaster. That's where I wanted to talk about this tournament that uh, you have to, in life, I feel like you have to go through trial and error, right? You have to constantly like figure out what works for you. There is no one equation, there is no one, way that works for everyone. You, how I'm finding myself, and I think how everybody should do, it's by trial and error, right? It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to go through things, right? But then you try this way, you try that way. See, okay, is it meditation for me? Is it journaling for me? Is it talking to a therapist? Is it talking to a friend? Is it, working hard? I mean, there's so many things, but then like you have to dig deep within yourself to figure out what works for you, right? What is that? And you have to listen to your gut, and you have to listen to your own feeling and your own instinct. And the more you listen to that, the more at peace you're going to be with yourself, and the better you're going to be with everything else. And also, to the point, you have to be delusional to believe that you can do it as well, whatever you're doing. Um, and I mean, I am a dreamer, like I know I have big, big dreams and big goals, but like at the same time, I'm very realistic. So I'm not like one of those people that's like, oh, yeah, I'm giving up everything just to do this. No, like I'm very realistic with everything that's happening, but I really want to give myself a shot because ultimately, when I'm 50 years old, I don't want to look back and ask myself, like, why didn't I go for it when I was 30? What was stopping me? What was I scared of? Because the fear that we have, like you get scared of, I mean, failing, you're scared of disappointing others, disappointing yourself. But at the end of the day, like you have to you have to go for it because living with that regret, living with like questioning yourself, what if, it's worse than anything else, like I was also, I think I mean, I don't talk enough about this, and it's so important. I had so many therapists, so many psychologists. I was on different medication for depression, for anxiety. I mean, I had panic attacks. I had, oh my God, moments of really, really like bad and dark moments. That's all I'm going to say. And I've also come to a conclusion that, like, the more you like try to fight it, the worse it is. But the more you let yourself like feel it fully and accept what you're feeling when you're feeling it, the better it's going to be, because it's you cannot fight that. You cannot fight it. You need to accept every emotion. You have to accept it. And it's constant work in progress, constant work on yourself, and surrounding yourself with people that are understanding that are uh, pushing you to be better version of yourself, that give you good energy, that you feel good around them. There's so many factors like that. And if you don't have people like that as you're going through this growth process, through this healing process, if you don't have people like that, and if you feel like people are starting to clear out from your life because they're just not in the same energy space, then you see like it's okay. I'm fine with that, because like it's the right people are gonna come. You just have to be patient. It's like everything in life. You gotta be patient. It's not gonna come overnight. The result is not gonna come. You see, like I just won my first UTR PTT 25K tournament last week. I worked, when you think about it, a year and a half for it, right? I didn't go and win it right away when I started off my comeback. No, it took me time, it took me time. And it's like everything in life. You need to trust the process. You need to have a clear goal, a clear vision, and set your mind to it and work towards it every single day. So, I mean, the thing is, I'm really grateful to be where I'm at now. And then another thing is, and I'll get back to the question, but another thing is also this tournament that I just played. I literally talked myself into winning the tournament. You have to be delusional to the point to be like optimistic and positive and talk to yourself like that. You just have to. I literally came to a tournament after my first win. I told everybody there, the tournament director and everyone, I was like, you know what? I'm winning this tournament. And at the moment, I didn't like the tournament was really strong. I was not a favorite to win it. I haven't won anything the whole year. And for me, just to say that, and everybody kind of like looked at me like, huh? I was like, I'm winning this. This is mine. They're like, okay. And I just took it one match at a time. So many matches I was losing, right? I was literally losing. And I'm like, this is mine. I'm literally about to return the serve. I'm like, this is mine. This is all me. I deserve this. I work so hard for this. Nobody deserves it more than I do. Um, just keep fighting. Just keep going. Just keep going. So yeah, I kept talking myself into winning. And then next thing you know, 6 matches later, I won, and I turned so many matches around. And I keep saying this is going to be my year. And I really believe it is. And it's just, it's at the end of the day, it's not about the results. I mean, it is, yes, we all want results, but for me, ultimately, is the person that I'm becoming throughout this journey. And that's more important than anything else, because tennis is going to be gone. Like, I'm not going to play tennis forever, but it's like, who am I actually becoming on this journey? What kind of person? What kind of mother? What kind of friend? Um, and that is more important than anything else at the end of the day. And also learning how to be more kind to myself, because I put so much pressure on myself in everything that I do. Like I have to do so much and I'm doing it, and like, but then when I let go of that, like, then it's different. Then I feel more free, and at the end of the day I'm doing it for myself. And it's also like, I mean, as cheesy as it sounds, you have to enjoy the process. You really have to enjoy the process. You have to do it for yourself, not for anybody else. and to have that peace with yourself. It's more, I mean, all the money in the world, all the success, everything, it doesn't matter. Like when you have that peace within yourself, honestly, it's the best. And that's where I'm at right now, like after I won that tournament, I was so happy. Yeah, but like I have to keep going. I have to keep putting in the work the next day and keep showing up for myself and for the people around me. And that's what, life is about. You have to keep showing up. Like today, rough day for me. Honestly, like so tired from, like taking care of my kids, um, to training so hard, pushing myself in the gym, on the tennis court, then teaching lessons, then coming here, recording podcasts. By the end of the day, I have to remind myself to be grateful because this is what I chose to do and this is my path. And I am so grateful that I get to do what I love. And that's what I recommend to so many people. And if there is something that you can get out of my story, and I see so many people post that I inspire them. It's about really like fully like going for it, like going for your dreams, but also like not worrying so much about the money or the fame or whatever. It's about doing really what you love. I gave up, not I gave up, I stopped doing my work where I was successful at, where I was making good money to now like not making good money, and being totally okay with that because um, you attract money, you attract the right people, you attract the right things in your life if you set your mind to. And I'm working towards that. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've been noticing, you read about these things, you see these things, but when you actually start applying it, you're like, oh my God, this actually works. If I'm talking positively to myself, if I'm focused on the right things, I am attracting the right people and right, and money and everything in my life. So that's my advice also, like don't be scared to like do something that you've been putting off for a while or that your heart desires, because what life is going by, and we're always gonna like you can always go back to like being comfortable or whatever, doing whatever, but like do what your heart truly desires and you're gonna live a life at peace with yourself, which is so important. But going back to the questions, um, as a professional athlete, single mom to two energetic boys, tennis coach, and a podcast host, my days are packed and my body takes on a lot both mentally and physically. So, to keep my body healthy and stay energized, I'm constantly looking and trying out different products to see what works for me. I have been using Pick Tea Performance Plus packets from No Apologies Nutrition, and I couldn't be happier to have found a product that does it all. Since I started using them, I felt more energized, more focused, and I've been experiencing fewer cramps. I'm genuinely so grateful to have found a product that works as well. What makes it stand out is that it's powered by pickle science. It uses lactic and acetic acids to quickly stop cramps and boost recovery. Use code EMA15 to try it yourself. So, my goal in my pro tour journey, year of play, I don't have like, okay, at the end of the year, I need to have this ranking or I need to accomplish this. I am more of like, my ultimate dream is to play at Grand Slams and to play under the lights at Arthur Ashe Stadium at the US Open, with the crowd. And I mean, that's my ultimate dream, right? That's why I'm doing this. So that's my vision. I'm working towards that. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, next year, what year, but that's my goal. And I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm more focused on getting better than like points and ranking, because the more I just focus on points and ranking, the more obsessive I become with that, and it's not good. The results are going to take care of themselves when I focus on the right things. Next question. How often do you string rackets? It's a great question. So I'm using right now razor soft from Technifiber, and they're honestly barely breaking. Like, it's a 16 gauge. They almost don't break, like, ever. So sometimes when I feel like it's that, no, I'm lying. I'm like, I'm too cheap to restring the racket when it's unbroken, so I wait until it breaks completely. The thing is, it's tough. I'm not at that level where I'm like making so much money that I can afford just to restring. So I just wait until it pops. But I just played like 5 matches and my string broke like after 5 matches, which is insane. But it saves me money, I guess. Um, Somebody asked me, why am I not playing against a Bosnian flag? So originally, I'm from Bosnia and Herzegovina, for you guys that don't know, but currently I'm playing under the US flag. So when I decided to make my um, comeback this year, I decided to switch to the US flag. But this whole year playing under the US flag, it just hasn't felt right for me in my heart, in my gut, like anything. Like, it just, like, every time they call my name and say, Emma Burgic, United States of America, I'm like, it's not me. Yes, I've been in America since 2011, but like, I'm still Bosnian. It's like, I don't want to forget where I came from, and I want to, like, embrace it. I want to play for my country again. So I'm actually in the process now, because I went through a divorce as well, so I have to change my name. So I'm going through that process, and hopefully in like 2 3 months I'll be able to switch it and play for Bosnia again, which I'm super excited. Somebody asked me, do you give private lessons? Yes, I do give private lessons. So when I'm at home here in Florida, Wellington, Florida, in between my training, I do private lessons because I still need to make money. So yes, if you're in the area, Wellington, Palm Beach, let me know. Um, what's been your favorite ITF tournament over the last 12 months? Actually, the one in Bakersfield, California. It's in the middle of nowhere in California. Bakersfield, California, and Berkeley, California, actually. Berkeley was because people over there were so nice, and also like I made my finals there in doubles of a 35K, had a really good tournament, and it was just like the organization was great. We had great food. Like, you didn't feel like you were at ITF tournament. You felt like you were at the WTA tournament. So it was so nice. And the facility was amazing. And then I went to San Francisco. So it was great. But then Bakersfield was in the middle of nowhere, a really small city. But people there were amazing. The club was amazing. They took like really, really good care of players. So I have amazing memories from there. So those two places. Okay, I'm gonna do a last question because I am getting really, really tired because it's been a long day and I don't want these to go long. This is kind of like a trial to see if you guys like these, and then we'll redo one. Somebody just asked, what's your next tournament and plan for the next few months? So my next tournament is next week in Palm Coast, Florida, where I'm gonna play um, 35K ITF. And then after that, it's either Vero Beach 75K and then or a PTT again here in Boca. I'm honestly taking it one week at a time. Depends how I do that week. With tennis and with tournaments, you have to be really like, okay, what am I, what my ranking is? Did I get into this tournament? Financially, can I make it here? There's so many factors that go into it. Like, right now I cannot just have a set schedule because that's not how it works. So kind of taking 1 week at a time. So I'll see next week after Palm Coast how I do, how my body is handling it, obviously. And then I'll go from there. I'll figure out what I'm doing after that. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to say again, thank you everybody that's following, listening. Every follow, every like, means so much to me. So please support my journey. Write in the comments what would you like me to talk about in the next solo episode, and if you want another solo episode or no. And yeah, I will be happy to answer all of your questions. So thank you so much again, and until next time, bye.